Thank you all for being here. It's really exciting to hear what everyone has to say. Yesterday, I met with the assistant teaching fellow for my constitutional law class. Kind of dropped the hint that I wasn't going to be in lecture on Thursday because I was at a conference on American values. There was this moment of awkward silence, which kind of disappointed me. I mean, I always thought I was his favorite freshman. But then he turned around with this really awkward grin and said, "Ironic, isn't it? I would have never guessed you were American with that accent. But anyway, have fun." But I think that this odd, weird hybrid accent that no one can place is a trademark of our generation. We are far more diverse than any other generation before us. And if you look at the survey results, you can really see how that's impacted us. Whether it's differences in gender, religion, sexuality, age, general moral beliefs, we have an unprecedented tolerance for those who are different from us. Probably the best example of this would have been my second week as a freshman at Harvard. We were discussing religion in class. I mentioned that I was Zoroastrian. Now, of course, I doubt there are a lot of people in this room who know what a Zoroastrian is, and I'm used to having to explain, it's the oldest monotheistic religion in the world, it was the state religion of the Persian Empire, yada, 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 my religion is obscure, it's all okay. But before I could even launch into that explanation, there was this one girl that put her hand up and went, "Wait, is that like a Rastafarian?" And, much to my surprise, there was a collective groan from the class. And these two boys, one from Wisconsin and one from Massachusetts, gave her a long, detailed explanation on the history of Zoroastrianism. And that's a weird example for me, because I had never thought that people would actually know what Zoroastrianism is, and be that open and progressive-minded, and be that aware. Now, of course, that tolerance doesn't just come from awareness. I mean, awareness isn't the only thing that can make us tolerant. There needs to be something else. And I'm not really sure what that might be. But I think if we are this diverse, and really that is the trademark of the millennial generation, that we know so much and are interested in so much information about other people, if diversity is going to breed some form of tolerance, then I think we should embrace that wholeheartedly. But despite this wonderful positive trait of our generation, I can't help but wonder if we'll actually see any fundamental changes in attitudes in our lifetime. We're constantly having to push back against a generation that has very staunch, not necessarily progressive viewpoints. It's no easy task. And our generation will have much to overcome and many problems to confront. In my opinion, the preconditions for democracy in this country are somewhat falling apart. Our criminal justice system incarcerates more people than any other country in the world, and this incarceration is strongly divided among racial lines. In fact, socioeconomic status is still divided among racial lines. Party polarization from the Tea Party to Occupy has simultaneously managed to lead to radicalism on one end and complete political apathy from our generation. I mean, if you look at the survey results, half of us, not even half of us, 46% of us are sure we're going to be going to the polls. The gender divide still exists. Look at the 17% of women, a meager number in Congress. And I don't think I actually have enough time to rail on about how Citizens United and campaign finance has changed the way that this country is going to approach voting and governing. These are all probably problems that my generation is going to have to confront. So, what is to be done with that? I mean, what can be done? I think it starts with communication, an intergenerational kind of dialogue. Our values will only remain strong and enduring if we start dialogues not only with generations in the past, as we had one speaker say, but among ourselves. So much of the time we buy into stereotypes and we dismiss the other viewpoint entirely. Yesterday in Italian, after a really intense, extremely uncomfortable discussion of Silvio Berlusconi's love life, there was one girl in my class who put her hand up and gave me one of those classic, unforgettable statements. Gli americani nella media sono stupidi. The Americans in the middle are stupid. It's that kind of dismissive viewpoint, that kind of dismissive attitude that will get us nowhere. Being a millennial is an interesting thing because we have so much responsibility. Much has been given to us, much is expected of us. It's our responsibility to learn, to debate, to understand, to try and reconcile what we think with the other perspective. No matter how strong or progressive or neoliberal our views are, if we stop listening to each other, if we try to impose our values on another group, we lose the noteworthiness of our values itself. We need to have some faith in democracy and some faith in the marketplace of ideas and values. We'll bicker and fight, but ultimately we'll have a far more worthwhile discussion. And hopefully it starts right here.
Thank you.